We had another show yesterday that was conveniently delayed 2 hours after Melody Festival and started Festival de Canção in Portugal. After two semis, we also had a final. And before I even go further into this, I think we just should take a quick look at the recap so to remind you who was in the running.
Great idea.
In playground time, our first kiss outside, wishing you good night over the phone. Our first fight, saying I love you like we didn't even
Esperança e consolação, refugiar-me em ti em toda a tribulação, evocar-te do fundo da minha alma, esperar e pedir a paciência para me acompanhar. Eu já deixei.
ficar sem, tu disse-me que és levar também.
Sei que eu sei lá, e te fazer amor para mim assim não dá, porque parece que nem sou mais eu. Ai, coração, ai, coração. I don't wanna live in a world full of hate. I'm sick and tired of these war games, it's driving me insane. I don't wanna live me, boy.
Construir lar, de onde vem o povo ainda só. Vou-me embora, não pertence a este lugar. Vou-me embora sem vontade de voltar. Vou-me embora, as forças não me deixam
viver o que ainda está para vir, fazer contas com o passado.
There you have it. We had a total of 13 songs in the running. There should have been only 12, but they had some voting issues in the first semi, so an extra song went through. And then the juries voted. They have like regional juries in Portugal. Each region voted. And then the televote was added, and it's always based on the Eurovision kind of voting system. So the winner of the jury vote will get 12 points, the second place would get 10, the third 8, and so on. Same for the televote. Interestingly enough, though, after the juries have voted, we had a tie in first place, and the tiebreaker did not exist. Therefore, both songs with the same score, which was 66 points, got 12 points, and that was Mimicat and Edmundo Inácio. So both got 12 points, and then the next song got 8. That was an interesting decision. And then the televote were added, and once again, they had the same top 2, but ultimately the winner, they're getting first place from the televoters, was Mimicat with Ai Coração, and therefore wins Festival da Canção and goes to Eurovision for Portugal at the Eurovision Song Contest 2023, performing in the first semi in the first half. So there you have it. Let me go first here on this one. Those who follow me on Twitter, I'm very like vocal about, who I'm excited about. Of course, I have respect for everyone, and I was screaming in the top of my lungs when Mimicat won. I was over the moon. I'm just obsessed with the song. I think they made a right decision, but I remember during the televote results, there was a technical glitch where they put the 1 point on Mimicat, and I died. Actually, I have a short clip here. I thought that was my least favorite / favorite moment. I think Mimicat's gonna win the televote, right? They're gonna give with the lowest score first, right? Mimicat. Okay, é o Edmundo.
7, Inês apenas, fim do mundo. Beijinho, Inês.
1 point.
É isso,
For
vamos!
Mimicat.
Isso mesmo.
That's a bummer. Wow.
You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
It was like heartbreaking when I saw that. It was like, no, what up, Portugal? But as it turns out, it was a glitch on the screen. The 1 point was supposed to go to someone. I wonder if they accidentally spoiled it. I mean, she's first and she won. I don't know. But yeah, so that would happen. But no, I was stoked about and honestly, if it would have been Edmundo, I would have been stoked as well. But you can't help but root for your favorite, and then the next day you're happy with whoever. But overall, Roy, I know the two of us agreed on Twitter. This was just a fantastic lineup overall. Festival de Canção they were just amazing. Right?
I think there's like 2 songs I didn't necessarily enjoy that much. I love this lineup. Like all of them were so strong, and I had Mimicat like 7th in my Portugal song, but I'm really happy that it won because it's like a good song. But I just preferred so many other songs. It was so strong. I was just there listening to the songs. I was also tidying up my room at the same time, to be fair, because I had the time anyway. But I was having a great time. I was just dancing, like vacuuming. Jesus, that's a difficult word. Either way, I was having a great time. Like Portugal this year, so many great songs, barely any misses. Too much sauce was rubbed, but oh well.
Get over it. Get over it, Roy. So just based on the final lineup again, it's Festival de Roy. So who would have won in your book? Like if you could have had made the choice in the finals.
My favorite was You Can't Win Charlie Brown with Contraste Mudo. I think that song is just, there's something magical to it. Like it's just very simple, very delicate, very fragile nearly. And it just makes you want to wander off into the world and just explore places, go through the city, or just walk in like between some hills, and you come at like some viewpoint and you see like an eagle flying. That's exactly what I picture with this song, and I just really, really like it.
Interesting enough, I thought it would struggle with the juries, but I think a lot of televoters would like it, and then it was the opposite. The juries actually supported way more because it got 0 points from the televoters. So that was definitely a surprise to me, and I want to also highlight this comment from Collins. Portugal sending a happy song for once after so many slow songs. It's been so many years. Was it 2014 the last time they had like a fun upbeat song? I can't remember anything in between. They were mostly just heavy, melancholic, sad. And, nothing wrong with that. I love them. Portugal is so good at it. But it was certainly something that I was super excited about, that they're finally going with something a little bit more just like uplifting. And people saying soothing, yes, in 2014. Conan in 2019 was not a cheerful song. It was maybe slow.
It was up tempo, but not uplifting necessarily.
Yeah, even up tempo is, not. It's a very unique style, so but I wouldn't go with like upbeat fun for sure. So Mimicat was my clear favorite, so I don't have to share my favorite. I would have picked Edmundo as the second one. So I'm
be
glad
great
that
too.
you in the televoters. Is that one that surprised you? To me, I didn't think I was going to like Claudia as much, but for some reason, her energy, her whole feel, I just kept singing that song. Even though it was so repetitive, I thought it was very well done, and I do think that Cherokee deserved more credit. I like that song as well. It was fairly simple, but it was just a very pleasant song to my ears. Anybody else?
I'd hope that Sal would do a bit better with Viver. Like, it was the final song of the lineup. I thought it just was quite catchy, and it's like, I know, another band, but I just quite enjoyed it, and I thought more people would like it as well, especially the televote. Like, I could see the jury's like ranking it a little bit lower, but I expected a bit more for Sal, to be honest. Same kind of with Voodoo Marmalade, although they did get quite a nice televote score. But
It did get, got 7 points, but the juries gave it 0. So I was not happy with that either. So I agree with that. I will start a poll. I will not, but I think I know the answer. But will Portugal qualify from the semi? Now keep in mind, they're in the first semi, and it's a strong semi, and it has a lot of upbeat songs. But is she standing out enough? Yes or no? Roy, you go first.
It's a tough one, isn't it? We still need to get Azerbaijan, and I'm quite interested to see what they'll do. I think that might stand out quite a lot. I think it might hurt Portugal quite a lot that they're in the first half, especially when there's already quite a lot of up-tempo songs around her as well. She is a solo artist, which will help as well in the first half. It's a bit difficult, but I will say yes as of right now.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I'm definitely on the yes side as well. You raised valid points about the competitiveness of the semi, the first half, and there are a lot of upbeat songs. Like looking at the, I posted something on Twitter as well about who will open, the semis based on, their. Most of the songs have potential to be openers actually, but it's Alessandra and Mimicat, the two female artists that could potentially stand out in the first half between all the guys. So that could certainly work in her favor as well. And I will give her that as well. Whether you like the song or you're not quite as smitten with it, it has a different feel. It's not just like a pop song. It's almost like cabaret kind of, style. So I think it'll stand out a little bit. So I think it has its place that it'll stand out from the rest of the pack.
And just charismatic as well. Like, incredibly charismatic.
And here are the results. 77% of the people say yes, Portugal will qualify. So do you think there is a chance that Mimicat could open the show, or that's not an opener?
No. I think they'll put one of the bands first, just because, one, I think a lot of them will want to go for a real band staging where they have all the instruments. So it's quite handy to have that at the start of the show, to have all of the, the drum kit out there, the electric guitar or whatever they want to do. And if, like, a lot of people say, oh, you predict 2 bands after each other. If you don't predict like 2 bands after each other, it will be band, solo, band, solo, band, solo, band. So it would already then by default not be the opener. I think it would be 4th slot is what I would like predict at the moment. I did a little prediction on Twitter, I think, earlier.
Yeah, I saw you retweeted me, requoted me. So I'm like, yay, thanks for the promo. But I do agree with you on that as well. I could see Portugal being like 4th or something like that. Because they're not really like super slow songs in the first half. I think you could say Latvia is the most relaxing one, and but you can only put them somewhere.
I think they're def slotting Latvia
again, second year in a row.
Yeah, it's just out of all of the songs, that one feels the most def slotty to me, and I quite enjoy it. So.
But 2 years in a row, I would be mad if they would.
True, but like, who else do you put there? They're not going to put Croatia there because, like, they'll want to bury the song probably.
To be fair, it's less death slotty in the semis. Do you know what I mean? It's in the finals. It is. And
statistically, it's actually not the death slot. People just pretend it is, but the 3rd slot is the actual death slot.
It is true. Plus, it's different when you look at the finals and the semis. That's also different stories, you know. I wouldn't worry too much about the running order. Often it's also perception by the producers, and sometimes I do have to kind of switch up the styles. That's why Latvia alone, just based on the song genre, could potentially be the second or third of the night. I don't think they will be second because they have so many upbeat songs. You know, I think Latvia could be third actually of the night, but that is
so the actual death slot.
The actual death slot, yeah. Well, they're like, at least you're not second this time.
True.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We have a few more ballady, slower songs in the second half with Netherlands and Switzerland. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty happy, upbeat semi. So they're all just gonna battle it out. Would that put Latvia in the death slot after doing it so last year too? That's what we were just talking about. Roy thinks yes. I'm like, I can't do that. But then again, remember Albania? They put them in the finals in the second slot 2 years in a row. I was like, that is just mean. That is just not cool. I'd be so mad. Yeah, and one thing is, it's more important who surrounds you in the semis. That's a good point as well. I said, you know, in the semis, it's not quite as important. Your running order is really like, who are you up against and can you stand out? Yeah. And that's why I said I'm feeling really good about Portugal, even though we have a lot of upbeat songs. It's just its own style. It stands out. It stands out, even if it's next to something like Norway or who else is pretty? Serbia. Serbia has also a very different feel, right? You know what I mean? So I think that alone will certainly make Portugal stand out. So our viewers say Portugal will qualify. Roy says it will qualify as of right now. We'll come back to it again in a few weeks and rehearsal start and see how we feel. Yes. I feel really good about Portugal's chances as well, despite the very competitive nature of it. Portugal will fly through. As a matter of fact, I think Portugal has the potential to do left side of the scoreboard. Potential. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I say potential.